What is up, guys? FallenRedZeo here, and today we're doing a review of Detective Pikachu. So we just got done seeing it a little bit ago, and so this isn't going to be a full-fledged review. It's just going to be sort of my opinions, probably a pretty short video here, because there's not a whole lot for me to go into in this movie. This will be spoilers and stuff, so I'm not going to do like spoiler free or anything. I'm just here to talk about the movie and everything. So to start off, of course, the big thing is the movie good or not. I would have to say it's a medium sort of movie. It's definitely sort of what I was kind of expecting from the movie. It actually was probably just a little bit better than I was expecting it would be, because, you know, going in, like, if you follow me on Twitter, which you can at FallenRedZeo, that I've put comments out and stuff and things that, like, from the start, as soon as I heard they were making this movie, I was like, this movie is not going to be good. It's going to be terrible and everything. And then they started to release trailers, and seeing the Pokemon is what really drug me into this. And I'm like, that's what got me so excited. And every time they released more and more trailers, you'd see more and more Pokemon, and I just got more and more excited. And that's what was really driving me into this movie. I was like, this movie is probably going to be absolutely terrible, but the Pokemon will be there to at least make it enjoyable for me. And that's pretty much what it was. But the story and everything isn't nearly as bad as I was expecting it to be. It's still just not the best thing ever. But we'll talk about more about that in a second, though. So for rating, I'd probably have to say, I don't know, it's hard to tell. I'm just going to give it a 5. That's going to be my solid 5 rating, you know, in the movie. It's not good, but it's not bad either. It's just right in the middle. Like I said, the story was better than I was expecting, so I wanted to give it more like a 6 or something, but I don't feel comfortable enough giving it that high, so I'm going to bring it down to a 5. If it's just the Pokemon themselves, it's good. It's a 10, because, like, the Pokemon were perfect, and I absolutely love seeing all the different Pokemon stuff in the real world all at once. All that movie did was make me want Pokemon so much more, like, here in the real world, because I absolutely loved it, and just getting to see all of them and everything. And so I do want to talk about the Pokemon and everything, just a couple of them. But I guess we'll talk about, you know, some of the story and stuff. So obviously we have this kid that's played by Justice Smith. I already forgot his name. That's the thing. I don't remember hardly any of the names of the people, and of course a lot of the actors, I don't really know who they are or anything, so I'm going to have to struggle with that sort of stuff. But his character is, you know, you could tell by the way the stuff in Detective Pikachu, he was like a person that wanted to be a Pokemon trainer, but ended up turning away from that. And we find out the whole story of his dad moved to this Rhyme City, which is the city this is all set in. He moved there and wanted, after his mom had died, the kid's mom, and so he was supposed to go live with his dad, but the kid didn't want to go, and so he stayed with his grandma. And so he's kind of grew away from his dad and not gotten to know him and stuff. But then he gets a call that his dad has died or been in a car wreck and everything, so he goes to Rhyme City to, like, collect his belongings and everything. And then of course while he's there, he ends up coming across the Pikachu that we see in the trailer, of course the talking Pikachu that Justice, again I forget the actual kid's name, could understand. And that's what the whole movie is set up about, this Pikachu that's a detective that this one kid can understand where no one else can understand him. And so it's kind of this whole, like, how is this possible? And I just assumed it was just a special Pikachu, and this kid had some special powers or connections that he could talk to this Pikachu and everything. And in the dad's apartment, of course we find out this a little bit before, but close to this, we find out he finds a little vial of this thing called R, it's just this purple potion thing. He opens it, you know, starts to choke him and stuff, so he opens the window, goes out, and starts affecting all these Apoms, and so then they turn, like, rabid pretty much and start attacking him. And that kind of connects him and Pikachu together, because they're trying to escape, obviously, from this apartment and stuff, away from these Apoms and everything, so that kind of brings them together. And that's when they start going on their adventure, because Pikachu points out that he doesn't think that his dad is dead, or that the kid's dad is dead, and that they should be out looking for him, and the Pikachu was like the dad's companion Pokemon and everything. So they go out on this adventure to try and figure out what this stuff is. They meet this reporter girl that has the Psyduck in the commercials and stuff, and she mentions that, like, this company and stuff, and the guy that owns the city, I cannot remember any of the names of these people and stuff, is all this stuff about Pokemon research and everything, and that there's some sort of connection with this R stuff in a doctor. And so they kind of take that lead and go into it, and they end up finding this Pokemon, like, fight club thing, which in the city it's supposed to be no Pokemon are fighting, it's all just cooperative living with Pokemon. But with this fight club, you know, it's kind of breaking the rules and everything. So that's where in the trailer we see Pikachu fighting against Charizard and everything, because the guy that owns the Charizard actually got beat by Pikachu and the original owner, so the kid's dad and stuff, previously, before, when he was investigating what this R substance is and everything. And so he wanted a rematch, and so they did, of course. And then he broke a vial and put it on Charizard to make Charizard super angry and everything, and Pikachu fought him, and that's where you see Pikachu struggle trying to use his powers and everything. And so that was a fun scene to find out. And then of course they release a Magikarp in the whole incident stuff, because the guy ends up falling down, and he has like a vest, a jacket on, and when he opens it, he has all the vials. Well, he ends up getting knocked over, and so when he falls on the ground, it breaks him all, and so the whole room just fills with this gas. So that causes all the Pokemon in this room to go crazy, and there's Loudreds, and they start like blaring their voice or whatever, and it breaks up Magikarp tank and Magikarp. So Pikachu's trying to get it to evolve to help fight the Charizard, and of course then by this time it wears off Charizard to returns normal, and then Magikarp transforms, and then like water guns him or something and splashes him out, and the kid ends up getting caught by the cops and everything. But anyways, so fast forward through, he ends up then meeting the like guy that created the city, which is played by Bill Nye, which again I don't remember the guy's name at all or anything. I wish it was Giovanni, but it was just some other random guy. And so he's, like I said, the creator of like Rhyme City and this whole cooperation with Pokemon and working with them and living with them and everything. He meets him, and this guy tells him that his son has been doing research at this facility and that he's doing stuff on Pokemon, so he needs to investigate, and he had hired his dad to end up find Mewtwo, which of course is the clone of Mew as we know and stuff from the Pokemon movie and all that sort of stuff. And so he's sent him out to find it, so the kid's dad went out to find Mewtwo, sorry, and then ended up capturing it, bringing it back, and then that's how this whole thing went in. So the kid and the girl, the reporter and stuff, end up going to this facility, and they both, of course, have Pikachu and Psyduck with them, and they go to the facility and start trying to do some research. They find some affected, mutated Greninjas and some Torterras and stuff, so they're just finding some weird mutated Pokemon and everything that they've done research, some science on and stuff, and affected them. Of course, the kid then finds the chamber where Mewtwo broke out, which was the beginning of the movie, which I forgot to mention, the Mewtwo breaking out, and then it makes it look like he attacked the car that you see in the commercial, and the car goes off the bridge and had the kid's dad in it and everything. So that was part of the whole opening stuff. And so he kind of plays it back there and stuff, and we see how Mewtwo broke out and all this sort of stuff, and it just replays it a lot. Well, we end up finding out that Pikachu was actually the one that caused Mewtwo to be able to break out, and so like, you know, Pikachu's bad because he did stuff, so Pikachu's like, I'm bad, you should leave me alone and everything. And so they kind of get separated for a little bit. Pikachu goes off on his own, but they end up finding out through visions and everything, and with Mewtwo especially, that it was actually the Mewtwo got released because he was trying to help the kid's dad escape and everything, because they knew that they were doing bad stuff with Mewtwo and everything, and so they sent the Greninjas out, and the Greninjas are actually the ones that caused the car to crash, and the Mewtwo is actually trying to help and everything. And fast forward even more, of course, there towards the end, we then have the Pokemon parade that they have in Rhyme City that's set up, you know, by this guy, this creator guy, the Bill Nye character and stuff, and Mewtwo is there and everything, but it turns out that he's actually the bad guy, and that the son was actually the good guy the whole time, and that his son was actually locked up and is probably a clone, because, you know, they did do clones and stuff of Mewtwo, or Mew and Mewtwo and everything, and then a mixture of, the guy's Pokemon is Ditto, so it has like his, like, I guess assistant lady was actually a Ditto the whole time and stuff, and so it's probably clones and Ditto work or whatever and stuff that made what seemed like the son of this guy was the bad guy, but is actually just, you know, clone or something like that. But he ends up actually, the old guy, Bill Nye, actually is the bad guy, and he has this mind thing that he puts on, and they have it on Mewtwo as well, and he's able to control and like transfer his body into Mewtwo, since he's in like a wheelchair and stuff, so he's able to control Mewtwo, and of course use all of Mewtwo's powers and stuff, and one of his powers is to be able to make people and Pokemon join together, so people and their pet or companion Pokemon ever join together. So like the cop that's shown in the trailer stuff, he joins in with his Snubbull, so it's both of them combined and everything, and so they all join together, but with the help of the returning Pikachu that actually found out the whole story and everything, and his memories come back to him and everything of what happened. He returns back to the city, so he comes in and tries to fight Mewtwo, and then of course the kid, the Justice Smith character, ends up fighting against the Bill Nye's character and stuff, and they end up breaking the connection, and Mewtwo ends up turning out and helping, and so they are able to end up defeating Bill Nye's character in the end and stuff, because obviously they just take the Mewtwo connection off, so Mewtwo ends up turning to be good, and that's when we get the whole story revealed about the dad being actually good and trying to help and everything, and that the Mewtwo is trying to help him as well, or whatever, the whole combination. They were trying to help each other against these bad people that are trying to do experiments from Mewtwo onto other Pokemon. Which leads to the end of that, since the whole connection of Pokemon into humans, or humans and Pokemon together, we then learn that that's what Pikachu actually is, and that it's actually the dad mixed in with his Pikachu, his, you know, companion Pokemon. So that's why the kid can hear him talk and stuff, because it's actually a human inside of the Pokemon, and so they can hear and talk to each other and stuff, so it gets separated out, which then we find out that Ryan Reynolds is actually the kid's dad, and that's why he had his voice and stuff. Their Pikachu did everything, so that's his actual dad. And of course at the very end the kids start leaving to go back to his grandma's or whatever, and then he ends up deciding to stay with his dad and everything. So that's just the whole basic storyline. I obviously skipped and left out a whole bunch of stuff there, but I don't want to go real deep into it. But what I really want to talk about is the Pokemon. So I absolutely enjoyed all the Pokemon, seeing all the different types. Of course we didn't see all the, you know, 800 and some Pokemon that there are, but we did get to see a good, you know, like probably 100, I would probably say. But I thought the Pikachu itself was awesome because he's, you know, super cute, and he has the fur, the like realistic looking fur and stuff, and I thought he just looked amazing. Of course Bulbasaur was my absolute favorite, and just getting to see their little cuteness on the screen, because of course Bulbasaur is my absolute favorite Pokemon. So getting to see them, and of course the cute little noises they were making, they remind me of like pigs mixed with, because of course Bulbasaur is a frog, at least that's what it's supposed to be based on, so it reminded me of pigs like snortings and stuff, but with like a frog's ribbit into it, and so it's kind of like a really cute Pokemon and stuff, and their big giant eyes and everything. It was just awesome to see that. Of course Mewtwo was awesome as well, of course, and for me personally I like seeing stuff. It's just some of my favorite Pokemon, of course the Machamp, Rattata, Pidgeys and Pidgeots and stuff. The Cubone was fun, especially they made the comment about it's wearing its, you know, dead relative's skull on its head and everything, which is fun to see. And then of course along with that we got Squirtle and Charmander. You'd see them running all around and everything. They're like probably some of the most popular companion Pokemon. And then there were Charizard and Blastoise and stuff. We got to see Gengar, which looked a lot like Slimer from Ghostbusters and everything. But it's just cool to see all these Pokemon stuff like brought what be into real life. Obviously they're not real, but it was just so cool to see, and the integration in with people and everything. I just absolutely loved it. And like I said, it just made me want to have my own little Pokemon companion friend, because of course I don't have any pets or anything, but I just like seeing that just makes me want to have a thing like a Pokemon, a part of my life and everything. So Pokemon was really, the actual Pokemon were actually the biggest upside to me. Like I said, the story wasn't that great. It turned out being better than what I thought it would be, but it just like obviously wasn't like the greatest thing and stuff, and it just, you know, had some boring parts and everything, as you'd sort of expect and everything. But yeah, just getting to see the Pokemon was really the selling point to this movie, and that's why I said I'd give it more of like a 5, because pretty much without the Pokemon, the movie isn't, like I said, terrible. Like that storyline they chose is absolutely terrible, and I like the whole connection that Pikachu is actually his dad morphed into the Pikachu and everything. The actual Pokemon is the biggest selling point of this entire movie. Now, part of seeing the Pokemon movie, we did get a pack of cards, so they gave us the new Detective Pikachu cards. So obviously, if you don't know about my channel here, I open Pokemon cards quite a bit on the channel as new sets come out. And so we've opened a couple of these Pokemon Pikachu, Detective Pikachu sets. So with these sets though, instead of the normal where you get the 3 cards, you only get 2 out of this, like 2 actual cards. In between me and my brother, we each got a pack. We got Pokemon here, so we got the Detective Pikachu card, we got Snubbull there, and then we got Jigglypuff, which of course was another fun Pokemon to see. So that was just fun. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, getting to see the Pokemon was really a big thing, because obviously for me, I grew up when I was alive. I grew up when Pokemon came out. You know, I had the original Game Boy and Pokemon Red, and I obviously played all through that. I got into the second generation, kind of left, and then probably a couple years ago, before Sun and Moon, I got back into Pokemon. I've been throughout, so I've known about every generation. I played, I think, Pearl, like Diamond or Pearl, I can't remember. I played that one. I played a couple more like on other like emulators or whatever before that as well. So I've been in throughout Pokemon. I played Pokemon Stadium and everything. So I've been throughout all the generations up until, like I said, right before Sun and Moon, probably a couple months before that. And then I got back into it, and I've been into Pokemon ever since then and stuff. And by Pokemon cards, I do videos here on the channel and stuff, as you know. So getting to see this Pokemon movie in real life, like I said, was so fun and cool to see that. But like I said, I wish the story would have been a little bit better, but obviously it's not going to be that great and everything. And like I said, from the moment I heard it, I was kind of worried about what was going to happen and everything with the game. So that's my opinion on the Pokemon movie. Let me know your opinion down in the comments below. Let me know whether you liked it, whether you didn't like it, stuff you liked. Of course, who's your favorite Pokemon? That's the thing I want to know the most. Who is your favorite Pokemon ever? But thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time.